Natasha.
Debbie.
Show.
The show.
Welcome to it. Just two patriotic girls.
Learning about the world.
So please, don't take us the wrong way.
Hello, welcome to the Natasha and Debbie show.
Hey guys.
Last week we took our first look into Norway and wow,
What
amazing.
a beautiful look.
We both absolutely loved everything that we saw. I mean, everything from the fjords, which we learned about last week, and we cannot wait to look into more of Norway.
We've been super excited about doing the second episode of Norway to learn some actual stuff and facts.
Yeah, we could not wait. And we loved hearing from you in the comments on last week's video.
Actually having people from Norway commenting. Awesome. Thank you so much. And we'd love for you to join us over on our Facebook page. We do a lot of live videos there. We get to talk with people, bring people up live, even on the screen live.
Yes, we would love to chat with you more over there. Get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah.
And find out some more information.
And that link's in the description of this video. Before we go on, please hit the like button if you like the content we put out, and
consider subscribing, but check out our content. Make sure you want to be a part of our family.
So before we get into today's video, which we're going to finally learn about some actual stuff about Norway. It's Geography Now, Norway, simple title.
We'll get to learn more about the actual lay of the land.
Some actual facts about the country, which have no knowledge. But that's why we're here, to learn. But before we do that, if you're new to the channel, we are lucky. We live in a wonderful city here in America. We live in Cincinnati, Ohio. And we have probably one of the coolest, if not the coolest, grocery store on planet Earth. And that is Jungle Jim's International Market.
That's right. They have food from all over the world.
Yeah, well, pretty much close, right?
Mostly,
75 different countries. Norway is one of them. Now, unfortunately, they don't have a lot of stuff from Norway, but we thought for some fun in today's episode, throughout the video, we're going to stop and try just a couple Norwegian snacks that we picked up. For example, I'm not going to try to pronounce any of these. But I assure you, these are not American versions of anything. These are all actually made in Norway, from Norway, and they're literally imported in. So I got that guy, and then I think you have its cousin.
Yes. Seems similar, but maybe caramel flavor?
Caramel.
Caramel.
We better watch ourselves saying caramel here. And then, what else you got? As I casually drink my water.
This fun candy bar. Again, not trying to pronounce anything.
We don't want to butcher the names.
We just don't want to insult you by saying it completely wrong.
And then we each have one of these, which we were told on Google, it's basically a Mars bar. But I don't think I've even had a Mars bar. I might have. I don't know. Now we have one more thing. Like I said, there wasn't a lot of stuff. There was a lot of Swedish stuff, which I'm sure you guys eat as well. But this thing looks terrifying, and I really don't want to eat it. I don't know what it is, but I mean, it's got like caution tape on the side and fire. It's something spicy.
Hopefully it's not too spicy.
What is this? I don't know.
We're going to find out in a little bit.
We don't even know what this is.
Yeah, I'm not quite liking the flame on there. I'm not sure.
It says to out the handle in the back. That's about the gist of the English. But either way, stay tuned for this fun, I guess. I don't know. We'll find out. But we're going to be honest with you if we like it or not. We've always done that with all the food we've tasted. But we like to get a little snack in and get an idea of like stuff you guys might like. Hopefully you like these things. And hopefully I'm just drinking normal water like I always do. Nothing different.
No. You got to hydrate.
I have drunk this on plenty of our other videos. It's not just for this episode, but I did bust one out just for it. But like I said, we'll be doing that throughout the episode. So stay tuned. Did you want some of my amazing water?
No, I'm good. Thank you, though.
Anyway, enough of that. So we'll be trying them out. But before we do that, we're going to get into the video and learn some actual facts about Norway.
Hey everyone, so I'm excited for this one. We recently did a geography in Oslo, Norway, and I had the honor to meet many of you guys, the Norwegian geography peeps, in your own country. It was amazing. Norway is a country everyone has kind of heard about, something about snow, ice, Vikings, skiing, I think trolls. But Norway is also a land of highly compounded history, tradition, postmodernism, and above all, landscape and people. And black metal! Yes, Keith is really excited for this episode.
What?
It's time to learn geography now!
Hey everyone, I'm your host Barbs. We've done Denmark, Finland, Iceland, and now the fourth Nordic sister, Norway. Now in the Nordic countries, Norway would kind of be like the one that everyone either tries to call their best friend or date. She smiles at the ground, pulls her hair behind her ear, and looks up with those sky blue doe eyes that sparkle and says, "Welcome to Norway."
What is that? I don't get it.
Norway plays a huge role in what it means to be Northern European. And when you look at it on the map, you'll see that it's fascinating how well they've developed the civil infrastructure from a rugged half-frozen peninsula. Oh, and there's a town called Hell. First of all, the country, which kind of looks like the shape of a spoon, is located in Northern Europe in the region known as Scandinavia, just above the North Sea, bordering mostly Sweden to the east, Finland in the far north, and even a small sliver of Russia at the very end. Really? This effectively means that Norway goes even further east than Finland and gets the entire Arctic coast from their neighbors, sharing the Barents Sea with Russia. Apart from that, Norway has some overseas territories as well, 2 of which are in the Arctic Circle, the Svalbard archipelago with only about 3,000 people, mostly in the largest town Longyearbyen, and the uninhabited Jan Mayen Island, which was actually kind of traded with the UK for these islands and Canada in like 1930 when Canada was still British. Weird trade-off, but okay. After that, they have 2 dependent territories, the Antarctic areas of Peter I Island and Bouvet Island, way down south, neither of which are permanently inhabited, and they also claim a portion of Antarctica known as Queen Maud Land. Going back to the mainland though, the country is currently, as of 2019, divided into 17 counties, or fylker, plus the unincorporated area of Svalbard, which, by the way, holds the northernmost permanently inhabited settlement in the world, with a population around 40 in the winter and 120 in the summer. The thing is, in 2020, the country will merge some of these counties into 11 regions. Already North and South Trondelag have merged, and the final result in 2020 will look like this. The country's largest city and capital is Oslo, located in the southeast, which also holds the largest airport, Oslo Lufthavn International, as well as Oslo's shipping port, the busiest shipping port in the country. A skip to the west, you find the second largest city, Bergen, with of course the second largest airport, Bergen International. It is said that almost around 80% of the country lives within 10 kilometers of the ocean, and despite the rugged mountainous terrain, the nation has an extensive network of roads, bridges, and trains that cross virtually every region of the nation, including the Lærdal Tunnel, the world's longest road tunnel that stretches 24 kilometers long, cutting through a mountain, and also the famous...
I want to see that.
Yeah, I was just going to say we need to look at that.
Okay, that's going to happen. Okay. And the famous Atlantic Road, he was going to say.
This Atlantic Road that hops from island to island in the Møre og Romsdal County.
Gorgeous.
Now, what's really fascinating is that Norway kind of went from this to this. And for a nation that has never surpassed 5.5 million in population, it's pretty impressive. How did this happen, though? Well, as the legend goes, in the 60s, Denmark was like,
"Hey, Norway, you are just the best. I love you, man, and you know, just to prove it, I'm gonna give you all this ocean water stuff."
Wow, really?
Ocean water stuff.
Just take it.
Thanks. Whoa, there's like a ton of oil here. Thanks, Denmark.
Actually, it was the Geneva Convention like 10 years prior to that, but that story's kind of boring. Now, as you can clearly tell, Norway has lots of access to the ocean. Due to all the serrated inlets and fjords, plus islands, they have the 7th largest coastline in the world. This also means that roads and bridges can only take you so far, and in order to get around in Norway's west coast, you'll see a lot, and I mean a lot, of ferries and ships. And what's cool is that, like some of their neighbors, Norway has a free roaming law, in which you can pretty much camp out anywhere in nature as long as it is not on private property. We all know some towns in Norway are situated in the most picturesque locations. Some, like this town, have no direct sunlight for 6 months because of the mountains, so they built giant mirrors to illuminate them. Fun.
Well, that's fascinating.
Awesome.
6 months of no sun? Really?
I guess the mountain blocks is what he said.
But
we'll
then
have to look into that too.
Giant mirrors.
That's kind of genius. We'll just put up some mirrors to reflect it around.
That's really cool.
That's awesome.
That's interesting. Okay, this is cool.
No direct sunlight for 6 months because of the mountains, so they built giant mirrors to illuminate them. Fun fact, Longyearbyen is known for being both the brightest and darkest place on Earth. Because of its location on the Arctic Circle, it gets 110 continuous days of no sunshine and 95 days of no night. Also, they have an emergency seed bank with over 1 million specimens built into the side of a mountain in case of the apocalypse and all plant life dies out on Earth. Also, technically, it's illegal to die in Svalbard. Because of the permafrost, bodies do not decompose, so you must either ship out your body or cremate it. Not sure how to segue out of that, but
you know, someone did comment about that. Someone did comment about that last week.
Yeah.
Yes, and I did read that comment, and I remember thinking that can't be true.
Apparently, that's true. Yeah.
Illegal? I'm going to say that it really is illegal. What are they going to do? Arrest you? Just saying.
They'll move you.
Interesting. Actually, he said that was a weird way to segue.
Yeah.
I think it's a good segue for our first snack.
Ooh, snack time.
So grab a snack. And if you don't have one, We'll wait. Go ahead. We're timing you. And now. Okay, you could have just paused the video. So we're assuming that you went and got a snack and came back. Okay, so I want to try this guy first.
Okay, let's try it.
So again, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. So here you go. Have one for you.
Ooh.
And then
That's fun.
we always rate things on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being best thing ever. 1 being hate it, never want it again. So we're going to be honest with you guys.
We are always honest. So here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Nine. It tastes like a Rolo. Kind of. I bet the caramel ones will. I'm digging that chocolate is creamy.
It is very nice and creamy. I'd go 9 also.
First ever Norwegian
There we go.
food ever, as far as I know.
First one.
And
There it is. We both give it a 9.
that was really good. Very smooth chocolate. Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm like,
nice and
I feel like I'm
creamy.
yelling. Am I yelling?
It's very creamy.
It's very good.
I love the creamy chocolate.
That's a good one. Let us know if these are stuff that you guys like. All right, sorry, back to the video. We have more snacks.
Bodies do not decompose, so you must either ship out your body or cremate it. Not sure how to segue out of that, but let's talk about cool places. Now, I asked some of you guys in Norwegian geography what some of the top places to visit in Norway are, and here are some of the suggestions you gave. Nordkapp, the Viking Ship Museum, Nidaros Cathedral, the Dock of Bergen, the King's Castle, Alta's Igloo Hotel, Frogner Park, and Vigeland Sculpture Park. Try to find the one with the dude fighting the babies. This fortress, this
I was wondering.
Iron Age farm, the
Whoa.
world's largest moose sculpture, this whaling museum, the Roald Amundsen and Edward Munch monuments and graves, the
crap,
Kon-Tiki
Norway?
Museum, the Polaria Aquarium, the Ager Viking-style brewery, the Three Swords Monument. So many traditional staples.
Wow. Yeah.
I've never seen anything
I'm
like that
loving
in
these
my
churches
life.
right here on the screen. Yeah. I think a visit is definitely.
What do you call those?
The Ager Viking-style brewery, the Three Swords Monument.
cool.
So many traditional stave churches, but this one is probably the most famous one. I mean, there's like a billion rocks named after body parts of trolls. There's that weird boulder jammed between two cliffs.
I've seen
a
that
mountain
before.
with a hole in it, so it looks like it
Whoa.
got shot by a gun. So many ice caves. The world's strongest whirlpool. So many fjords like Geirangerfjord, Nordfjord, Hardangerfjord, Trollfjord, Harrison Fjord. They were even supposed to give Finland the peak of Mount Halti for their 100th birthday, but then it was kind of like,
Happy 100th birthday, Finland!
Thanks, Norway. So I heard that you're thinking of finally giving me the peak to my tallest mountain, right?
Oh yeah, sure, why not?
Awesome. Well, then let me have it.
Oh, see, there's this thing in my constitution called Article 1, which states that the Kingdom of Norway is indivisible, so here's a taco.
yeah, Norwegians actually really love tacos,
taco?
which makes the perfect opportunity to transition into
Wait, you really like tacos?
I know.
We love
That's
tacos.
awesome.
We're obsessed with them.
Yes, we do love
Some of
our
them.
tacos here in America.
Yeah, we do.
Good to know.
Hopefully it's true.
Now, if you know anything about Norway's land, you'll know this one word. Fjords. Fjords.
Learned it
fjords.
last week.
The word is even Norwegian. And it's interesting how it became that way. Basically, like many other areas in the north, the country is a post-glacial peninsula with over 50,000 islands that at one point was completely covered in ice. Over time, the ice melted, eroding the rock beneath, creating the incredibly indented coastline of steep, jagged cliffs and fjords. Of the coast, the largest and deepest fjord is Sognefjord, and it is the third largest in the world, extending over 200 kilometers inland. This means that much of the country is divided into regions of choppy fjord stuff to the west and the connected hilly and valley stuff to the south and southeast. Everything pretty much falls either within the alpine boreal climate or further up north, Arctic. Keep in
Gotcha.
mind that due to
Okay.
Svalbard and Jan Mayen, the Norwegian economic zone extends to the majority of the Norwegian Sea and much of the Barents, as well as the North Sea to the south. This is called the NCS, or Norwegian Continental Shelf. Here, the largest deposit of underwater oil is found that supplies Norway with much of its wealth. A skip to the east, you
Nice.
find the largest lake, Lake Musa, which is just parallel to the longest river in the country, the Glomma, which drains all the way into the North Sea in the south and has a drainage basin that covers about 13% of the country's land. A little skip to the west in the center, you find the longest and most dominant mountain chain, the Scandinavian mountains, where you can find the tallest peak, Galdhøpiggen, which is also the tallest in all of the Nordics. If we are discussing the overseas territories, then Svalbard is pretty much an Arctic archipelago of glaciers, this one being the largest in all of Europe, and the rest are mostly just cold valleys. Jan Mayen Island is the only place with an active volcano in Norway.
really?
The Berenberg Peak peak last erupted in 1980. Otherwise, if we skip all the way south to the Antarctic, Bouvet and Peter I Islands are dormant volcanic islands, Bouvet considered the most remote island in the world, and both of which are nearly completely covered in ice and only inhabited by seals and birds. Now, keep in mind about the oil thing though, although they export lots of it, gas is actually still super expensive. According to globalpetrolprices.com, as of 2019, it is just over 17.2.
That's 2019 prices.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Can't imagine what it is now.
Yikes. Okay.
That's steep.
That's rough. Okay.
Per liter, making it one of the most expensive places to get gas in the world.
I don't want to talk about it.
This is partially because in 1990, they initiated the Government Pension Fund Global. This is a national wealth fund run by the government to subsidize pensions when oil dependence runs dry. Now, Norway has lots of natural resources and clever ways of managing them, making them somewhat of a paragon for development few other nations can compare with.
Challenge accepted.
But for what it's worth, they have a unique system locked and loaded. And now it is time for my triple shot of espresso break. Usually this is the part where Noah comes in, but Noah is out of town, so let's give this to Keith.
Now, everyone knows that Norway is quite a prosperous nation. But just how prosperous is it? Let's just put it this way. They export more than they import and not just petroleum products. Fish alone makes up about 10% of their exports, and they are the highest exporter of salmon out of any other country in the world.
Really?
I just love Voss water. It's expensive and it's Norwegian, so you know it probably came from like a mystical glacier or something.
Yeah, no, that's basically just our tap water. I wash my dishes with that stuff every day.
But
This was really not cheap.
No, that's
This was very expensive. I buy this often though. Y'all know, all of our friends that you know have been watching us for a long time know I drink mostly Fiji water. But I have been going back to my favorite of all waters, don't get mad, Mountain Valley, which is America's best water. They're all expensive, but I don't care. Your tap water is better than ours. Ours sucks.
just true.
So, I mean, it's not the worst in the world by any means. It's not, but this is good water. So I don't care if it's your tap water. I still love it, and I'm proud of it. That was embarrassing for a minute.
it's expensive and Norwegian.
And you fell for it.
Ha! Y'all just got tricked.
Otherwise, the majority of the energy in Norway comes from hydroelectric power. Norway became one of the first countries to adopt a carbon tax back in 1991. Although cutting down trees is still done on a smaller scale, they were the first country to ban deforestation. They have Europe's largest herd of reindeer. They have lots of birds like...
I can't believe you eat Rudolph. I asked in the last video if you had reindeer. In the comments, somebody literally said, yes, we eat Rudolph. I was like, what? That was like shocking to me to find out that in Australia they eat kangaroo.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's fine. It is what it is. It's just not something we're used to. So
exactly.
We eat deer.
Just because we don't do it doesn't mean it's not okay for you to do it.
Right. I'm not judging at all.
No.
But it was just something I didn't expect. But we eat venison. But,
right. So we eat deer.
So I don't know how different that is. But is that a puffin?
That is.
Let's find out.
To ban deforestation. They have Europe's largest herd of reindeer. They have lots of birds like puffins. Whales and orcas love swimming off the coast. In the Arctic, you can find polar bears and walruses. Yes. And now, food. Norwegian food is known for being...
Speaking of food.
Snack time.
Snack time.
Ooh, what do we want to try? We go with this one?
Yeah, definitely.
So we're going to try this one.
I really want to try that one. So let me see this. So... I so want to try to pronounce it, but it'll be so wrong. Those look like hazelnuts. Those are definitely hazelnuts. I happen to love hazelnuts, and don't you? Perkliver.
I haven't had that many.
Perkliver. That was my only time I'm probably ever gonna say, oh God, how bad was that? Please rate me in the comments. Or don't. If it was bad, just don't give me a rating.
That sounded good to me.
That was awful.
All right, we have it open.
I'm excited. I'll take two.
You want that?
Actually, yeah, if you don't mind. It's got hazelnuts in it.
Should be really good.
All right, so that's what we got. 1, 2, 3, go. Definitely hazelnuts.
Very good.
That is amazing. 9.5.
I go with 9 again. I love this.
Your
is
chocolate
very good.
is super creamy. Fine, it's on your
You
side.
can have it over there.
That one's really good. 9.5 for sure. Still, don't care if it's overpriced tap water. I like it. That was really good. Okay, let's hear about the food.
Find polar bears and walruses. And now, food. Norwegian food is known for being either really nice, warm, and cozy, or straight up disgusting.
Okay.
They
What
love their
is
fish.
that?
You have some interesting fish dishes like lutefisk and rockfisk. Some other dishes include things like various types of porridge, pickled herring, kumla, reindeer made in various ways, meatballs in brown sauce, krumkake,
Yeah,
brown
what
cheese,
was that?
these Christmas dishes, and the national dish, fårikål. However, if you ask a Norwegian, they might tell you the new national dish of Norway is tacos. They might have some questionable ingredients on the table for you to add, like mayonnaise or cucumbers. And I mean, come on, Mexico,
Mayonnaise?
even you break your own rules all the time and mix things up in your own country. So let the Norwegians have their fun. And
No, Mexico does not. America does with Mexican food. Trust me, we do. But we're open to all taco ideas, so please share them with us.
We definitely are, although I have to say the mayonnaise is a new one that I have not heard of.
I love mayonnaise. I would try it.
Yeah, I would try it too. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Norway, this is definitely the beginning of a beautiful friendship. We know that you like tacos now. I'm really interested about learning about these tacos.
And speaking of Norwegians, have fun.
Oh, and speaking of Norwegians having fun.
Oh, and speaking of Norwegians having fun.
Thank you, Keith. Norwegians have a saying, they are born with skis. The word even comes from the ancient Norse word skeith, which means split wood. If there was any kind of apex cold winter type of people on Earth, Norwegians would take the gold. And they literally do take the gold. Like, they have more Winter Olympics gold medals than any other country. First of all, the country has about 5.3 million people, and as of 2018 has the highest human development index out of any country in the world. At about 84%, the country is made up primarily of people that identify as ethnically Norwegian, including about 60,000 indigenous Sami people. About 8.3% of the population is other European descent, mostly Western Europe, and the remaining population is made up of other people groups from outside of Europe, from various regions of Africa, Asia, mostly from countries like Pakistan, Somalia, Morocco, Iraq, and Kurdish people. They use the Norwegian krone as their currency, they use the type C and F plug outlets, and they drive on the right side of the road. Interesting to note that they...
Thank you for driving on the right side of the road. Thank you so much.
That would make it a lot easier.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Especially seeing those roads in the last video.
Oh,
I couldn't have imagined.
driving that on the wrong side. Other side, I mean.
Thank you.
They are not part of the EU, but part of the European Economic Area and Free Trade Association. In fact, Norway is a kingdom, currently under the headship of King Harald V. However, his role is mostly representative and ceremonial. His executive powers are limited, and most government is ruled by the parliament. Essentially, though, although some would argue Vikings kind of started in Denmark, it really kicked off in Norway. Norwegian Vikings did kind of all the exploring and colonizing and raiding and killing, you know, Viking stuff. And no, they did not wear helmets with horns. Language-wise, Norway actually has two official languages, Norwegian and Sami, the language of the minority northern indigenous peoples that have lived in the frigid regions for millennia. The Norwegian language, however, is kind of confusing though, because it kind of has two different writing systems that everybody must learn in school, Nynorsk and Bokmål. What exactly are they? Well, it kind of goes like this.
Hey, we've been in a union with the Danish for centuries and now they are gone. We can speak our own language freely.
Woohoo! But we've been writing our language in the Danish style for so long. I mean, what do? Do we change it?
Hi, I'm Ivo Olsen, and I say yes. I'm going to listen to all the dialects of Norwegian and come up with a weird fusion thing that can work for everyone. I'll call it Nynorsk. We can teach it in schools and everyone can be free of Danish influence. And today
and that's like, okay, we didn't change, well, kind of a little bit, but not really. We didn't change like the way we say the words, but we did change the spelling from like the UK. You know, we got rid of the U.
Yep, exactly.
So a little baby similarity there, but that's interesting. This video is very fascinating. Let us know how accurate this is. Hopefully it is.
Yes.
Danish-style Bokmål is still used by about 85% of the population.
Oh, really?
Weird side note, the word ha can mean almost anything in Norway. For example, ha. Ha. Ha! Ha! Speaking of which, like many of their other neighbors, Norwegians have 13 years of school, graduating at age 19. And when Norwegians are just about ready to take their final exams, they go on a 3-week party called Russ. And just look it up. Norway has lots of different dialects. Here are some of you guys, the Norwegian geographers, explaining.
På standardnorsk ville jeg sagt hvordan, men I Ålesundsområdet ville jeg sagt hvordan.
Hey,
Hold up.
Ville jeg sagt.
Can we just appreciate his eyes for a minute? Good God.
Does have some gorgeous eyes there.
Those are the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen in my life, I think. Hi. We're totally married. But ha ha. Sorry. His eyes. Just saying.
Hvordan? Men I Ålesundsområdet ville jeg sagt hvordan.
Hey, my name is Talina. In standard Norwegian, you might say våres, but in Egersund area, you say okkas.
In the west, you could say gysna løyer, and in the north, maybe korarti.
In Oslo, you would say something along the lines of det ikke lett, skjønner du. Trøndelag County, det ikke lett sjø.
So in standard Norwegian, you would say søppel. But in Bergen, we say boss.
Thank you. Otherwise, there are so many other things you guys, the Norwegian geography peeps, wanted us to talk about in terms of your culture. And here is random.
I think it's time for us to take another little
Oh,
snack.
right in the middle of a fact almost.
Ooh, let's
Oh,
go with
the caramel
this
version.
one.
Well, don't know if that's the same thing or not. They just look similar.
They do look similar. The caramel. Yes, I'll say both. That way I'll just cover my bases here.
Where we live, most people tend to say caramel, which we know is inaccurate to the rest of the world, but it's just what we do in this area. So don't judge us too harshly.
So Debbie calls it caramel.
What was the... Oh, it says... I guess it's toffee. Looks like it says...
Oh, toffee, that works too.
Caramel. I have to watch myself.
They both work.
Smile? I don't know. These look... Okay, I think these are like our Rolos, is what I'm guessing. So
what it looks like.
Let's find out. They're better than our Rolos. They're just way softer than our Rolos.
That is so good.
Don't mind me. Yeah, screw the Rolos, dude. These are way better.
No, I think we'll be fighting over these.
Rolos aren't even American.
I think we'll be fighting.
Are Rolos American?
These are really, really good. I don't know. I know these and they're mine.
They're yours.
Yeah, now they're mine. I love them. Hey, you've already had 2.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to take 2, so I have 3. 10 and a half.
Definitely a 10 on that one. Like, that's gonna stop me. These are so good.
No, seriously.
It's so smooth.
The caramel in there is not like the Rolos that we're used to eating here.
Yeah, it's not
Because that stuff's all like,
overkill with sugar. and
It's too chewy.
tough, and it sticks to your teeth.
yeah, the Rolos, exactly. I hate that stuff that sticks
And
to my
this is
teeth.
just smooth, creamy. It's not overly sugary, but it still has sugar,
What do you
obviously.
rate it?
Like I said, 10. 10 plus.
That was stupid
It's amazing.
good. That was really good. Love it. Okay, sorry, back to the video. We only have one thing left, and it's the thing I don't want to try, but we're
Okay,
going to try
2.
that. Oh, 2, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Let's just do the other one real quick. Let's go ahead.
Okay.
And then we'll say the last one. That way we can finish the video out, and then we'll save the other one. So again, we read online that might be like a Mars bar, which I don't know that I've had a Mars bar.
Y'all?
Have you?
Jap? Had a Mars bar? Yeah.
If I have, it's been forever ago. I've had Mars bars. What's
Yeah, you
wrong with
have.
me? I know. But wait, aren't they like the Milky Way here, though?
Yeah.
Is that what this is?
I think they're kind of the same.
It looks like a Milky Way. Yeah. Well, that's good. You... Sure, this makes me look bad. Takes a little baby bite. I just put the whole thing in my mouth.
This is really good. It's more fluffy inside than the ones we have. Airy and fluffy.
It's a Milky Way. Tastes like a Milky Way. 9. I don't even like sugary stuff. I don't. But it's all really smooth and I'm kind of in that mood today, which is unusual for me. We're gonna do this one as soon as we're done with the reaction video. We wanna get back in the video so we don't miss any facts here.
Many other things you guys, the Norwegian geography peeps, wanted us to talk about in terms of your culture. And here is Random Hannah with culture stuff.
Random Hannah.
Norway is a land loaded with tradition and folklore. Many of you have already heard of things like trolls and elves, but there's also scary beings like the Huldra, Nattmara, and the Nuken. Pretty much all Norwegians are outdoorsy people. Hiking and cross-country skiing are national pastimes, hands down. Almost everyone owns some kind of Mari sweater, made of wool with traditional patterns knitted onto the upper parts, usually in the national colors of red, white, and blue.
I want one of those.
Many Norwegians own small cabins in the woods, and they actually like to brag about how bad their cabins can be. As in how technologically disconnected they are, with
That's
the
a good
least
thing, right?
amenities. No Wi-Fi, no electricity, no plumbing.
my
You're
dream.
hardcore. Speaking of bragging, in Norway,
Hello.
it's considered super cool to come back from vacation and show off your tan, because it's kind of hard to get a tan in Norway. The Nobel
True.
Peace Prize is also awarded in Oslo every year. In Norway, everyone's income and
right.
wealth is on public record, mostly. But
Really?
for what it's worth, the nation does this to help prevent tax evasion. And finally, we cannot skip the
would make
bunads. These are traditional costumes of Norway that come in so many different varieties based on the region and town you are from. They are mostly worn for special occasions, especially for May 17th, the country's national day, where they march to the castle in Oslo.
Yeah. All right, get out of here. I want to talk about music. Traditionally, Norwegians have their own regional folk music and dances called bugdedans. Traditional instruments include things like dulcimers, goat horn, willow flute. The traditional folk music eventually found a way to fuse with one of the most popular genres of Norway today, metal, or specifically Norwegian folk metal bands.
Really?
Not only that, but black metal was started supposedly in Norway, and it has since been a domineering genre many people have been playing for decades. That's it for me.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Thank you again, Keith. Anyway, we gotta move on. History. In the quickest way I can put it, Viking Age. This dude unites Norway into one kingdom. Vikings invade and take over a ton of other places like England. Christianity, Old Kingdom, Black Plague, Union of Kalmar, Denmark takes over. Lutheranism, Sweden takes over. Constitution established, first wave of immigrants to America. They finally leave Sweden. World War I, neutral. Women's suffrage. World War II, neutral again, but Germany doesn't care. Joins NATO and European Free Trade Association. Oil boom. They vote and reject EU membership. Hosted Winter Olympics in Lillehammer. Largest underwater gas pipeline in the world opened. Oslo grows and more immigrants come in. And here we are today. I asked you Norwegian geography peeps for some notable...
Just go through like 1,000 years in just like 10 seconds. And I
way more to that.
Registered a little bit of that, but we're going to need to look a lot deeper in on this one.
People from Norway or of Norwegian descent, and here are some of the ones you suggested we put in this video. Eric the Red, so many past Vikings and kings, blah blah blah. Edvard Grieg, Edvard Munch, these riders, these cross-country skiers, Roald Amundsen, Magnus Carlsen, Max Magnus, Thor Heyerdahl, Fridtjof Nansen, so many musicians like these people, as well as actors like these people. Nansen, so many musicians like these people, as well as actors like these people.
Oh,
and
Game of Thrones guys!
many
Slow down, man! I can't remember his name from Game of Thrones. I love that dude.
Yeah.
I can't remember his character's name though. I didn't know he was Norwegian.
That would make sense, though.
Oh, interesting.
Actors like these people, and of course, the royal family. Seriously though, did you guys watch the movie Kon-Tiki? It's pretty good. I mean, his migration theory was still kind of mostly wrong, but hey, you did a cool thing, man. And that's the thing about Norwegians. They're so globally intrepid. They reach out to the far corners. And with that, they've also made a lot of friends. Which brings us to... Now, Norwegians are known for being very level-headed and nice, but they do know who they support and stand by no matter what. First of all, Switzerland is kind of like their weird alternate parallel universe twin that shares a lot in common with them. They both are not part of the EU. They both are very financially stable, yet expensive to live in. They both have mountains and snow, and they both have similar values in general affairs. They get along pretty well and enjoy sharing the ski stories. The UK is a very close friend, especially Scotland, due to their shared Viking history. They even give them a Christmas tree every year to say thanks for helping in World War II, when their king and government were taken in from exile as the Germans tried to invade. Nepal has close ties. As another mountain nation, they've taken much interest and send much aid to their programs. High-profile politicians have visited in the past, like their Minister of Environmental Development, Erik Solheim, and the Prime Minister of Nepal visited Norway as well. For the USA, they have a very close connection, not only in diplomacy, government, and business, but specifically to the diaspora living in the USA, and specifically the state of Minnesota. Nearly 1 million Norwegian Americans live in this one state alone. The USA holds more people of Norwegian heritage than any other country outside of Norway, with almost as many as there are in Norway. They even have a game show called Alt for Norge, in which Norwegian Americans see the homeland of their ancestors. They cry and act way too dramatic, which is entertaining. The winner gets to meet their Norwegian relatives, and the losers get a book telling them information, but they don't get to meet their relatives. Interesting. Which is kind of messed up, but it's a game show. What do you expect? Anyway, when it comes to their best friends, pretty much what I've heard is a mix between all the Nordics, but specifically Iceland, Denmark, and Sweden. Iceland Iceland is like their party friend they love to go on adventures with. And they're also kind of like the preserved Norse nation that their ancestors colonized, which holds a dear spot in their hearts. Today, they have a defense agreement that allows the Norwegian Air Force to survey and patrol the Icelandic airspace as well. Denmark and Norway, however, are always kind of fighting for Norway's affection. Both these nations in the past have fought each other and ruled over Norway under separate kingdoms. All three countries were at one point part of the Kalmar Union. They can relatively understand each other when they talk. Swedish is closer to Norwegian, though. They are all part of NATO, the Council of Europe, and many people from each of these nations end up marrying and having families together. In conclusion, Norway's prosperity doesn't stop with their will for gritty, cold adventure. They've scaled the South Pole, the icebergs, the glaciers, and the tundras. It's almost as if the ice keeps them warm.
That is a lot. No,
that was a ton of information. We're really gonna have to like take things and
yeah, we have to slow down a minute.
Yeah, slow down
actually
a lot.
Listen to it, read it, absorb it, keep it in there.
I agree. If you guys like this video, please hit the like button. Consider subscribing to the channel, but only if you want to. Don't let us pressure you into it. Like I'm about to pressure myself in eating this thing. I don't know what it is.
Ooh. The flame on the package.
It's got the cautioning stuff on the side. It's like not for American consumption.
Cautioning us.
I think it says in the back. Oh, it does.
Turkish
right here.
Tiger.
Warning. Americans should not eat this. We can't. Sorry.
And peber, that kind of sounds like a pepper.
Peber? That's how you're pronouncing it.
Pepper? Peber?
I mean, it says,
Heavy
it's got the little flames on there. And it does say on the back, too hot to handle. It says it's vegan.
Get some water. Try this.
Oh, in the back, there is some English for Great Britain. It says pepper candies. I don't like pepper. I don't like spicy things. Norway? Oh, that's, oh, okay.
Oh. Yeah.
What?
I see.
What? What?
Nothing. Let's try this.
That, what I just read to you? It's too hot to handle?
Yeah.
What? Did you see that I don't know what you're talking about?
That's all. The too hot to handle.
I read that to you.
We're going to see if it's too hot to handle.
I don't want this to explode and like go flying across the room. Well, they did a really bad job of opening things. Oh, these are like some hard candies.
Okay.
This looks, it's got a flame on it. Norway. We like you already, but don't make us cry.
Ooh.
You see that?
That's to keep you warm with all the snow.
I don't know. I can't chew this. I'm not going to try. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what this is.
Right?
It's a hard pepper thing. Pepper candy?
It's going to keep us warm.
I'm not cold. It's hot. What? Oh, God. It's licorice.
A little salty, but black licorice-y.
Black licorice, salty, in a hard form. Norway. Oh, and then there's the spice. There's the spice. The first coating. Lick it off.
Yeah.
Bite it.
I'm not a fan of black licorice.
I love black licorice, but you're making me not like it now.
But salty black licorice, I don't know.
I like salty, but I got the spicy part though.
I'm gonna crunch it and see what happens.
Don't do it, man. I'm not doing it. You just break a tooth? That's why I'm not crunching it. Yeah, it got you, didn't it?
Don't do that.
It got you, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could taste it. Mine has like a little hole in it, so the spice is oozing into my mouth.
I don't even find it that spicy. There's more.
It's very salty.
Salty inside.
Oh, it's spicy. I'm feeling it in my mouth. It's not like that much though, but I don't like it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say.
This is like so far the Norway equivalent to me of like Marmite or Vegemite.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Sorry, we're gonna be honest with you. Nope.
I'm gonna say not that bad, but
I'm gonna give you a 2.5 on this one.
Oh, I'm just gonna go 1.
Really?
Yep.
I love salty stuff, but licorice, okay. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that one. Not a fan. We'll just leave it there.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
You hate it, don't you? It's okay if you do. I'm sure they can handle it.
The taste is starting to come out my nose.
I wish they had more stuff than that, and they might get some more stuff in here and there. And if they do, we'll buy more stuff and bring it and try it out here with you guys. But it was cool to learn some actual information for once
about
Norway.
Exactly. To hear more of the statistics, the layout, all that.
Yeah, the different territories. I knew none of this. Maybe like 2 things out of the whole list. But
the music, the people, some of the history.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to dive into more of it and get
slower pace.
Yes, and get more actual information on it. Although I think this was an absolutely wonderful video.
I agree. Next Wednesday we'll be doing Norway again. So we're gonna see what we can learn. I'm excited. But please, leave us a comment. Join us over on our Facebook page. We'd love to have you. We'd love to make some Norwegian friends. And then that way we can bother you and ask you and ask you like, hey, what should we learn about? Give us some ideas. We don't like to do the same stuff other people do. We like to step outside of the box. We like to look at things, that we can really learn, Sorry, it's loud when I move it around my mouth. You leave that sitting in one spot too long, it kind of burns a little bit.
It did a little bit.
It's actually growing on me.
Oh, it did not grow on me.
I like licorice. I like salty. But again, I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode, and I hope you enjoyed some of the snacks that we tried. Let us know if any of those were your favorites. And again, if we can find more here locally, we'll get them. But until then, that's what we got. So thank you so much for watching the Natasha and Debbie show, and we'll see you next time. Until then, please love, like, jazz.
Be as strong as Tyson.
Bye, guys.
Bye.